Joining us now is former U.S. Ambassador to Israel and Egypt, Daniel Kurtzer. Ambassador, thank you very much. Talk to me about what Egypt is going to do now and why Egypt has said that they don't want to let in refugees over the Rafah border.
Well, Egypt faces its own challenges. It's had an insurgency in Sinai for over a decade, which has taken a toll on the Egyptian security forces. It has been a place from which much of the smuggling of arms and people into Gaza has started. And therefore, as a security matter, Egypt is going to be very careful. On the other hand, Egypt has also been instrumental whenever there have been negotiations on things like hostage prisoner exchanges, ending conflicts. So the Egyptian government, I think, is going to be pulled in two different directions here, watching very carefully to protect itself, but to see whether or not it can also help tamp down some of the extreme parts of this war.
Well, and Egyptian leaders have also paid a huge price. I mean, Anwar Sadat was assassinated in part, well, because of his negotiated peace with Israel. How politically difficult is it for them to get involved in this sort of conflict?
You know, I was stationed in Egypt during Sadat's assassination. I saw firsthand a population that was largely supportive of the idea that there would not be any more wars with Israel, but a minority, Muslim Brotherhood infiltrators into the army that decided to take matters into their own hands. And that's been part of the tension within Egypt ever since the peace treaty was signed in 1979. For that reason, the Egyptians have always sought for themselves a role in which they could probably advance or try to advance the prospects of a broader peace so that their individual peace with Israel would not be isolated. And they've tried hard, but, you know, the peace process hasn't been very successful. And once again, they're going to be caught in this bind about protecting themselves and trying to end the violence.
Isn't that part of the broader issue, though, is every time that these countries have come close to peace or the broader region has come close to peace or normalized relations with Israel, there's been a huge human toll. Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated after the peace deal, after standing on the steps of the White House and getting to a peace deal with the Palestinian Authority, the PLO, at that time. There are actors in the region who, you tell me, do they want anything more than just endless conflict or just the complete annihilation of Israel, or, on the other hand, the complete annihilation of any idea of Palestine?
Well, I think it's clear that the non-state actors that we're watching now, Hamas, Islamic Jihad in Gaza, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, are not interested in a peace deal. They want to scotch the idea of Arab-Israeli normalization. But it's important to remember, Katie, that the two peace breakthroughs in our lifetime, the treaty with Egypt in 1979 and the Madrid Peace Conference in 1991, actually followed wars or uprisings. In other words, there is a possibility that there is an opportunity in a situation of violence or war which diplomats and statesmen might be able to exploit. That's going to be the challenge, not just for Egypt, but for the United States and Europe and much of the global community. It's not going to emanate from Hamas. It's not going to emanate from Hezbollah. But to what extent can a diplomatic pathway be forged out of this? Too early to suggest what that might be. But that's really the only way to get out of this cycle of wars that try to prevent peace from happening.
And can that even be possible if Hamas still exists? I know it's going to be really difficult to root them out. That's what all the experts say.